Welcome back to our jargon-free guide to digital marketing. So in this section, we're going to look at all the sort of terms that you'll come across which relate to making sales, which, as I'm sure you'll agree, is the most important thing when it comes to your marketing activities. So let's look at calls to action. So this is a phrase you might have heard quite a lot, and what it means is you're telling people what to do. And you mustn't feel like this is being bossy. People actually welcome being steered in the right direction. So you're saying things like book a demo, download our app, find out more, read our article. All really clear directions so that people know what to do next. So if you look at this page from Topshop, it's absolutely full of different calls to action. So they encourage you to view a gallery, to read an article, to download the app. There's a search box so that you can find out more, find out the products that you want to find. And so it's full of really clear calls to action. And it's best to be, I suppose, short and snappy with these, get to the point. You don't need to write really, really long sentences. And when you're thinking about mobile content as well, short and snappy really does work best because there's physically less room on the screen. So you need people to be able to scroll down and just quickly tap a button and get taken through to the right place. So one place that you'll see a really clear call to action is a landing page. Now, a landing page is typically a standalone page. It may not even appear on the main navigation on your website, but it goes hand in hand with a particular campaign that you're running or a course of action that you want people to take. And typically a landing page, it will be very attractive and it will just feature one clear action. So maybe you want people to download an app, or you want them to start a 14-day free trial, or you want them to book a demo. And like this example here, they've got a really simple form to fill in. They're not asking for you to do very much, just fill in a little bit of data, and the call to action is really, really clear. And what this will help people do is convert into paying customers, hopefully. So what I mean by getting people to convert is you're getting people to do a desired result. So maybe you want them to pay for a product. Maybe you want to get them to sign up for your mailing list, or complete a demo, or fill in a form. And what you want to do is get more and more people to convert. You don't want them to just come to your website and just mooch around and then disappear. It's really important to make it clear what people have to do. Make it as easy as possible for them. So if there's a form that you want people to fill in before they sign up for your mailing list, don't give them 15 different fields where you're asking about their whole life history. You pretty much just want their email address and their name and maybe even a phone number. But every little form they have to fill in is another barrier to them actually completing this action. So two phrases you might have heard people saying are organic content and paid content. So what's the difference? So organic content, it's content that you've created on your website or on your social media platforms, which is, you're not doing anything extra with it except publishing it. And people will find this content through the keywords that you're using and through links, and they'll arrive at your website page, your social media channels, and discover this content. Paid content is where you've used a bit of money, and so it might be something like Google AdWords, it might be a Twitter post that you've paid to advertise, it might be a Facebook post, you call it boosting, you can put some money behind it. And this means it's more likely to show up in people's timelines, in their news feeds. So if you look at this example of search results on Google for Cambridge photographers, some people have paid money. If you see the content at the top of the page, then this is where people have paid for Google AdWords, which means that when people search for Cambridge photographer, this content is likely to show up. Also down the right-hand side of the page. Whereas at the very bottom, this is a page where someone has just organically, they've just got content on their website which uses the phrase Cambridge photographer, and then that comes up. Another term you may have come across is click-through rate. Now, you want a high click-through rate, and this means that when people open up your email marketing, your email newsletter, they're actually clicking on the content. And that means it's interesting. So if you know that you've got a high click-through rate, people are enjoying that content, so perhaps next month you can do even more of it. And a high opening rate you also want a high opening rate. This means that when people get your email newsletter, they're encouraged to open it. So that means perhaps your subject lines are really good. And when it appears in their email inbox, you're saying something that's of interest. So yeah, a high opening rate means that your subject lines are good, and a high click-through rate means that the content inside your email newsletter is really good as well. So what we're talking about here is metrics, also known as analytics, also known as data. And the power of digital marketing is that you can really track your progress, you can really see what's working. So there's lots and lots of data out there, and in a way that wasn't available before. So if you think about traditional advertising, perhaps billboards or in newspapers, then you didn't really have so much access to the data. So you could take a guess that maybe a particular newspaper had gone out in a city and maybe 30% of the people purchasing it might have seen the ad. Whereas in contrast to that, with digital marketing, you've got data coming in live really. So you can look at your web page and you can see, well, how many people are browsing it right now? Which pages are they looking at? How long do they spend on a site? What's your most popular post? So it's really important to look at the metrics when you're carrying out your digital marketing activities. And the good thing is that a lot of this is built into the individual platforms as well. So you can look at Twitter Analytics, you can look at Google Analytics, which will show you what's going on with your website, and you can look at Facebook Insights. Instagram has everything built in as well. Pinterest Analytics is really good. So really start to familiarise yourself with what's going on behind the scenes. And the advice that I always give to people is have a look at what works, and whatever's doing well, do more of that. And whatever isn't working so well, do less of that. So for example, you could experiment with email marketing. You could perhaps send it out on a Monday morning and see if you hit people when they're in that kind of businessy frame of mind. Or by contrast, you might find that on a Sunday night, they've got a little bit more time to browse at their leisure and your click-through rate is much higher. So it's really important to look at the analytics to really see what's going on. So that brings us to the end of Module 3 of our Easy Guide to Digital Marketing Terms. So let's have a quick recap. So if you want your website visitors to convert into customers, you want to present lots of really clear calls to action, possibly on a special landing page. You might offer a mix of paid or organic content, and this will give you, if it's good, a high click-through rate. And then you can look at the metrics to see what's working. And then you want to do more of what works and a bit less of what doesn't. So thank you for watching. I hope you've learnt lots and taken down lots of notes. Please take a look around the Sukio School website and see what courses you might want to do next.